Did you know that 99% of deaths after age 75 come down to just a handful of causes? Many people assume that passing away at an advanced age is simply natural, but the truth is that most of these deaths come from avoidable risks that are often ignored until it's too late. The problem is that by the time most people realize what's happening, their health has already declined and their options become limited. But if you understand these dangers right now, you can take steps to protect yourself and extend your life in ways you never thought possible. In this video, we uncover the 5 leading causes of death after age 75, the ones responsible for nearly all fatalities in this age group. Some may seem obvious, while others may surprise you, but one thing is certain: knowing them is the first step toward preventing them. These aren't just statistics. They represent real lives, real families, and real choices that can make the difference between struggling with health issues or living a long, full life. Stay until the end, because these 5 causes are not inevitable. In fact, by making small but meaningful changes, many people have dramatically reduced their risk, stayed independent longer, and added years, sometimes even decades, to their lives. The decisions you make today could determine how strong, active, and independent you remain in the years ahead. Now let's begin. Number 1. Heart disease. Heart disease is still the leading cause of death for people over 75, and yet many don't realize how much control they actually have over it. The heart is a muscle, and like any muscle, it either stays strong with proper care or it weakens after years of neglect. The challenge is that you don't always feel warning signs until the damage is already done. Many people assume that slowing down, feeling tired, or getting out of breath easily is just part of aging. But in reality, these can be signs that your heart isn't as strong as it used to be, and that's something worth paying attention to. One of the biggest contributors to heart disease is high blood pressure. Over time, it puts enormous strain on your arteries, forcing your heart to work harder than it should. The tricky part is that you often don't feel it. There's no pain, no obvious symptoms, nothing that tells you to act, until a heart attack or stroke forces the issue. That's why so many people over 75 suddenly end up in the hospital asking how they got there when they felt fine just days before. Another major culprit is a poor diet. Decades of processed foods, too much salt, and unhealthy fats slowly take their toll by clogging arteries and reducing circulation. And here's what most people don't realize: it's not only about avoiding bad foods, it's also about eating the right ones. Your heart needs fuel to stay strong, and if your meals lack heart-healthy nutrients, damage happens much faster than you think. Then there's lack of movement. The heart isn't meant to sit still all day. When you stop moving, circulation slows, muscles weaken, and your heart doesn't get the exercise it needs to stay strong. You don't have to run marathons, but staying active in a way that works for you, whether it's walking, stretching, or simple exercises, keeps your heart pumping efficiently and dramatically reduces your risk. The biggest mistake people make is assuming heart disease is destiny. They hear about relatives who had heart attacks, or they assume it's just what happens with age. But the truth is, small, consistent choices add up. What you eat, how you move, how you manage stress, everything plays a role in whether your heart stays strong or starts to fail. If you take one thing from this, let it be this: you have more power over your heart health than you think. The choices you make today can determine how strong your heart remains in the years ahead, and the best time to start protecting it is right now. Number 2. Falls and injuries. One of the most dangerous and overlooked risks after age 75 isn't a disease. It's a fall. It happens in an instant. One misstep, one dizzy moment, a slippery floor, and suddenly everything changes. A hip fracture, a head injury, or even a bruise that seems minor can quickly spiral into a life-threatening event. And the real danger is that most people don't realize how vulnerable they are until it's too late. Here's something shocking. Falls are one of the leading causes of injury-related deaths in older adults. They lead to millions of emergency visits every year, and for many people, a single fall triggers a decline they never fully recover from. A hip fracture can mean months in bed, loss of independence, and a higher risk of infections and complications. Yet despite how common it is, most people don't take fall prevention seriously until they, or someone they love, experiences it firsthand. As we age, our balance, muscle strength, and reaction time gradually decline. But because it happens so slowly, we don't always notice. You might feel fine walking around your house and doing daily routines until one day you reach for something, lose your balance, and gravity takes over. The body simply doesn't bounce back the way it used to, and what once was a small stumble can become a devastating injury. And here's what makes it worse. Fear of falling leads to more falls. After a close call, many older adults start avoiding movement completely. They stop walking, avoid stairs, and limit activity out of fear. But the less you move, the weaker your muscles become, and the weaker your muscles, the more likely you are to fall. It's a vicious cycle that can quickly steal your independence. But here's the good news. Falls are not inevitable. There are simple but powerful ways to dramatically reduce your risk, strengthening your legs and core, improving balance, and making small home adjustments like better lighting. Non-slip rugs and sturdy handrails can make the difference between staying active and independent or facing a life-changing injury. Another overlooked factor is medication side effects. Many prescriptions can cause dizziness, drowsiness, or blood pressure changes that make falls more likely. If you've ever stood up quickly and felt dizzy, that's your body warning you that something needs to be adjusted. Talking with your doctor about your medications, making sure they aren't working against you, and being aware of how they affect your balance can save your life. Falling isn't just about tripping, it's about staying strong, stable, and aware of the small things that can make a big difference. Because after 75, one fall can change everything, and taking the right precautions today could mean years more of mobility, independence, and a much better quality of life. If you're still watching and finding these ideas valuable, please comment the number 2 below so I know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend subscribing and turning on the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us keep creating content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 3, respiratory diseases. Breathing is something we take for granted until it becomes difficult. As we age, our lungs don't work as efficiently as they used to, and even minor breathing problems can become serious quickly. What starts as a simple cough or shortness of breath can lead to chronic conditions, infections, and even hospitalization. And after age 75, respiratory diseases become one of the leading causes of death, not because they're unavoidable, but because they're often ignored until it's too late. One of the biggest dangers is chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, which includes emphysema and chronic bronchitis. Over time, the airways become inflamed, making it harder and harder to breathe. Many older adults dismiss symptoms like frequent coughing, wheezing, or feeling short of breath, assuming it's just a normal part of aging. But in reality, these are warning signs that your lungs need help. Then there's pneumonia. It may sound like just another infection, but for older adults, pneumonia is far more dangerous. What begins as a cold or mild chest congestion can quickly become a life-threatening condition because the body's ability to fight infection weakens with age. Many hospitalizations after 75 are caused by pneumonia, and in too many cases, the infection leads to a rapid health decline that some people never fully recover from. Another major risk is poor air quality. Years of exposure to dust, pollution, and secondhand smoke take a toll on the lungs. Even indoors, things like mold, pet dander, and household pollutants can worsen breathing problems without you realizing it. And if you already have conditions like asthma or COPD, these irritants can make symptoms even worse. Simple steps like improving indoor air quality, using air purifiers, or avoiding smoke exposure can significantly protect your lungs. One of the simplest but most effective ways to keep lungs strong is to stay active. Most people don't realize that lungs, like any other part of the body, need exercise to function properly. When you move, your lungs expand fully, helping keep them healthy and clearing mucus buildup. But when you sit for long periods, your lungs don't work as hard, making you more vulnerable to infections and weakening lung function over time. Even light activity like walking or stretching can keep your lungs stronger for longer. Another crucial factor is getting the right vaccines. Many older adults underestimate the importance of vaccines for pneumonia, the flu, and other respiratory illnesses. But these simple precautions can dramatically reduce the risk of serious infections. It's not just about avoiding a bad cold, it's about preventing complications that could land you in the hospital or worse. A small step like staying up to date on vaccines can make the difference between a mild illness and a serious health crisis. Number 4. Stroke. A stroke happens suddenly, often without warning, and in an instant, life can change forever. It's one of the leading causes of death after 75. Yet many people don't realize how many early warning signs and risk factors are actually within their control. The problem is that a stroke doesn't always give a second chance. Once it happens, the damage is often permanent. But here's what most people don't know. Up to 80% of strokes may be preventable. That means the choices you make today could determine whether you remain independent or suffer a life-altering event. A stroke occurs when blood flow to the brain is suddenly blocked or when a blood vessel ruptures. When this happens, brain cells begin to die within minutes. The longer the brain is deprived of oxygen, the greater the damage. Some strokes are small, causing only temporary confusion or mild weakness. But others leave people paralyzed, unable to speak, or completely dependent on others, and in too many cases, a stroke is fatal. One of the biggest risk factors is high blood pressure. Over time, too much pressure weakens arteries, making them more likely to rupture or become blocked. And just like with heart disease, high blood pressure often has no symptoms. That's why so many people walk around unaware they're at risk until a stroke happens unexpectedly. Another major cause is irregular heart rhythms like atrial fibrillation, AFib. Many older adults have this without realizing it. When the heart beats irregularly, blood can pool and form clots. If one of those clots travels to the brain, it can cause a stroke instantly. The good news is that a simple medical checkup can detect these problems early, and treatment can dramatically lower your risk. And then there's diet and lifestyle. Eating too many processed foods, excess salt, and unhealthy fats increases stroke risk, while lack of movement allows blood to thicken and circulation to slow. If you're still watching and finding these ideas helpful, please comment the number 4 below so I know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend subscribing and turning on the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us keep creating content to inform and inspire you. Now let's continue. Number 5. Cognitive decline and related complications. One of the most heartbreaking realities of aging is the slow loss of memory, reasoning, and independence. Cognitive decline doesn't happen overnight. It creeps in gradually, starting with small changes that are easy to dismiss at first. But as the years pass, those small lapses can become something much more serious. The ability to manage daily tasks, recognize familiar faces, or make sound decisions begins to fade. And for many people, it doesn't just become inconvenient, it becomes life-threatening. Dementia and Alzheimer's disease don't only affect the mind, they put the entire body at risk. As cognitive function declines, the ability to care for one's health declines too. Simple things like remembering to take medications, eating balanced meals, or recognizing symptoms of illness become harder and harder. Many older adults with dementia forget to drink enough water, leading to dangerous dehydration. Others may eat too little or too much, causing nutritional deficiencies or weight gain that increases the risk of other serious conditions. But one of the biggest dangers is accidents. Forgetting to turn off the stove, leaving the door unlocked at night, or wandering into unsafe situations. These risks can become deadly as cognitive decline progresses, and for many older adults, it leads to a tragic reality: losing independence. If they can no longer live safely on their own and don't receive proper care, their health declines even faster. What's most frightening is that many people don't realize they're experiencing cognitive decline until it has already advanced. Early signs like forgetting names, struggling to follow conversations, or misplacing important items are often dismissed as just aging. But in reality, these can be your brain telling you that something is changing. The sooner you act, the better your chances of slowing progression and keeping your mind sharp for years. One of the best ways to protect your brain is to stay mentally active. Just like muscles in your body, the brain needs exercise to stay strong. Reading, learning new skills, doing puzzles, or even having deep conversations keeps your brain engaged and reduces the risk of cognitive decline. And here's something many people overlook. Physical exercise is just as important for brain health as mental activity. Movement increases blood flow to the brain, helping protect memory and cognitive function. Another key factor is social interaction. Isolation and loneliness dramatically accelerate mental decline. Having regular conversations, meeting with friends, and staying involved in your community can literally help keep your brain sharper for longer. The more you challenge your mind with new experiences and meaningful interactions, the more resilient it becomes. And of course, diet plays a major role. What you eat directly affects brain health. Omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants, and vitamins in foods like leafy greens, berries, and nuts help protect against cognitive decline. On the other hand, too much processed food, sugar, and unhealthy fats contribute to brain inflammation and increase the risk of dementia. A healthy brain starts with a healthy body, and the choices you make today can shape how well you think and function in the years ahead. Losing cognitive function is not an inevitable part of aging. By taking the right steps now, keeping your mind and body active, staying socially connected, and making smarter dietary choices, you can significantly reduce your risk. Your brain is like any other part of your body. The more you care for it, the stronger it remains. Thank you for being with us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts matter to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us keep creating quality content to inform and inspire you.